What up, fam? It's your boy, Boy 2024, streaming to you live. Yeah, you can probably tell I have changed my location. I have a new bench. I've changed location slightly. Nice, beautiful little lakefront view here. Slenderlord 2024 has been bombing my benches. He's been destroying all of my normal benches that I use, so I kind of have to change locations every once in a while. So just bear with me, and bear with this review here. So, long story short, I've heard you guys. You loved the Super Famicom review. That video, for a long form video, that got like 127 or more views. So like that spoke to me, and I was like, okay, you want more content like that. You want more Super Nintendo stuff, and I want to make more videos like that anyway. Also, by the way, it is a brisk 88 degrees outside right now. I am currently melting into a puddle of goo, but it's worth it. It's worth it for the fans. Like I said, you know, I heard you. You want more Super Nintendo stuff, so here it's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. I got stuff in the pipeline. But yeah, I thought I'd do another like 3-game sort of runoff where I spent equal time. I spent about an hour on each game, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna do like a runoff, like score each one and tell you which one I liked the most and that I tend to play more of, similar to like what I did with my triple PC review a couple weeks back. But yeah, a quick story about all of this. So this all started with this game right here, Street Fighter Alpha 2 for Super Nintendo. This is a legendary port. This is a legendary Super Nintendo game. I bet a lot of people didn't even know this came out. Like, this came out like super late in the Super Nintendo's life. I was reading about this, I decided I had to have this game, and then I was like, oh, well, why don't I do another runoff of 3 Capcom games? Here's the thing, this will not be in the video. This will get its own special video because it deserves it. I am doing these other 3 games basically because it wouldn't be fair. Like, just playing this game, it's not a fair comparison. I know it's technically for Super Nintendo, but it may as well not be. Like, this is so like a cut above the rest. Like, literally, like how do I put this? Imagine if I was doing a lineup, like, this is how unfair it would be. If I was doing a lineup of Xbox games, like original Xbox games, and I was like, okay, here's Halo 1, here is Blanks the Time Sweeper, and here is Gears of War 2 on Xbox 360. Which game looks the best? Which game has the best graphics? You'd be like, whoa. That's not really fair, dude. Like, they're not even on the same console. This, again, technically, yes, it's a Super Nintendo cartridge, but it may as well not be on the same console. Like, this is such a cut above. It's not a fair comparison. It really isn't. So this is out of the running. I'm sorry. It's disqualified. But yeah, then I had some more troubles. So here, real quick, here's the lineup. I have Final Fight. I have UN Squadron, a game that was recommended to me, and then I have the X-Men game, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, all by Capcom, all great games, and I'm gonna get into that. What I'm planning to do is, honestly, I've been out here, I've kind of been struggling. I'm still trying to figure out the videos where I capture footage for you guys and show you some footage, some gameplay footage, because it's rough, man. Like, I had the table, I was balancing the camera, trying to get a good angle. The glare on the screen, like, you can basically never see what's on my screen. That's the problem. And like, it's also like, I'm trying to have it so that I set the camera down so I can actually play with both hands, because I can't really play with one hand. It's not gonna work. Like, that was something I struggled with my Switch reviews. I'm still trying to figure that out. So I did not figure that out for today's review. I think if I do capture some footage later, I'll post like a second follow-up video or something. But for today, like, I'll talk about the games and I'll score them, and like, maybe like when I talk about a game, I'll put it in and I'll turn it on just so you can kind of hear the sound effects and stuff. But again, I could play it, but you're not going to be able to see it anyway, and I'd have to set the camera down. It's a whole freaking thing. So I apologize. I'm still an amateur when it comes to the game YouTube stuff. So like, I'm just gonna kind of, you know, gonna do it live. I'm just gonna kind of figure it out as I go. But for today, you're just gonna have to deal with like hearing the sound effects and stuff, and that'll be that. So to start off, well, let me also tell a quick story. So I almost had to go back to Street Fighter Alpha 2 because all these games, right? I get all these games, I buy them off eBay for cheap, and it'll come in like a shitty like envelope or something. It comes all beat up, and I'm worried, oh, is it even going to work? Is it going to run? And I've had pretty good luck with all of my games so far that I've gotten used, except for, here's the funny thing, this game comes in the nicest packaging I've ever gotten. Like, it comes in like this, you know, clear case. I'm like, oh wow, it looks pristine, it looks mint condition. This is the only one that gave me trouble. This is the one I couldn't freaking get to work anyway. So even if I was showing footage today, I couldn't get this shit to work anyway, you know. But so then I was like, oh shit, maybe I do have to put Street Fighter Alpha 2 back in the running. Like, no. Like in the 11th hour, at the last minute, I did get this to work, so I can talk about, I can like, you know, at least play you some like clips and stuff. So that'll, or you can listen to some of the music and stuff. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool. So yeah, I'm gonna do a runoff. Let's begin with Final Fight, Capcom's Final Fight. Yeah, this is a legendary title in and of itself. It's actually a port of an arcade game. So real quick, Capcom, I mean, they're a legendary company. Now they're known for Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter more recently. But yeah, and they basically created the tournament fighter subgenre with Street Fighter 2. That was a runaway success on Super Nintendo and everything. But before that, this game actually predates Street Fighter 2 by 2 years. Final Fight was its own series that they, you know, don't really pay much attention to now. But back in the day, man, like this is what got everyone started on the beat 'em up genre. This kind of was the first, aside from Double Dragon. I think Double Dragon was technically the first, but this made the beat 'em up genre blow up. And then you had all these games. I didn't grow up with this game. That's the funny thing. Like the games that I grew up with, like Spider-Man, Venom, Separation Anxiety. What else? That Power Rangers Super Nintendo game that I always defend. I would hear all the time, like, that game got some negative reviews because they're like, oh, well, it's just a Power Ranger skin of Final Fight. Oh, it's just a Spider-Man skin of Final Fight. And I'm like, well, I haven't played that game, so I can't really speak to that. I just know it's a fun beat 'em up. But yeah, now that I've played this, let me just pop this in so you can hear the music. Is it working? No. So yeah, basically the story is that the mayor of the town, Mayor Hagar, his daughter Jessica was kidnapped by these thugs, like the Mad Gear Gang or whatever. Yeah, they're calling him now to tell him we have your daughter or whatever. And so Mike Hagar, he's the mayor of the city, but he's also like this super buff wrestler dude. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll go grab my daughter. Like, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna pile drive all you fuckers. And then there's her, I think her boyfriend Cody, and there's a third guy named Guy. So what's interesting about this game is, yeah, they have Jessica. I'm gonna play the first one for sure. The thing is, this is a port of the arcade game. Then there's Final Fight 2 and 3, which are Super Nintendo exclusive. They were actually just made for the Super Nintendo console. Those are much harder to find, and I've already kind of resigned myself to not playing them because Final Fight on Super Nintendo, it's actually kind of a shitty port, believe it or not. Yep, you hear that sound effect? Oh yeah. But yeah, it's actually not a great port. I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, I think that's why it was so damn cheap. Final Fight 1, it's, you know, it's $10. I got this for like dirt cheap. I got it for like $10. But then you have the 2 and 3. 3 is like hundreds of dollars. So I'm just like, sorry, you know. And I think even 2 is like $100. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with 1. But so some background, some lore actually. Long story short, you know how back in the day, just to get something to play on Super Nintendo, concessions had to be made. They had to, you know, take some features out. Final Fight, unfortunately, yeah, they took away the 2-player option. That's not in the Super Nintendo version. And they took away a playable character. Now it's just Cody and Hagar, Mayor Hagar. But there was a ninja guy named Guy, and I'm most interested in playing as him because everyone has like these unique abilities. Like, I like to play as Cody because his punches are just like a little faster. But Mike Hagar, if you get good with him, man, he can do these like crazy wrestling moves where he picks people up and like slams them down, power bombs them and shit. So he's really fun to play as too. But from what I can see, oh god, that's just getting annoying. I'm gonna, yeah, pause that. That's a cool pause or unpause music. Anyway, yeah, Guy is like a crazy ninja that does like ninja backflips off of walls and shit. So only he can do that. I would love to play the game as Guy. Unfortunately, he was cut out of the Super Nintendo version, and I believe an entire stage was cut out too. The game is shorter on Super Nintendo. I guess they just couldn't fit it all on the cartridge or something. So, you know, but like, and I mean that's just how it is. I mean, I only have the Super Nintendo, you know, cartridge. I don't have like the arcade. You know, I mean, people have told me to invest in like a Raspberry Pi or whatever to play like the arcade ports of stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, maybe someday. But what's really interesting, I was reading about this. This is so crazy, but like we've seen this before with Capcom stuff where like, you know, remember these are the days before DLC, where if you wanted to update a game, you had to release a new version of the game. Like there was no other choice. So like with Street Fighter 2, the reason there's so many versions of Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo is because they couldn't just like add in a new character, you know what I mean? They're like, there was no DLC, so like they wanted to add Cammy to the game, so there's just like a new game. Like now there's Street Fighter 2, the new challengers, you know what I mean? So what's so crazy is there is a Super Nintendo game called Final Fight Guy, and that's it. It's just Final Fight. Oh, and we put Guy in. I think you still can't play as 2-player, but it was a Blockbuster exclusive in America, and it was like a limited Japanese release or whatever. And it's a super rare game. It's like $500, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, $500 just to play as Guy when I already own the damn game, basically. Sorry, I'm just not gonna play as Guy, I guess. And I think they still didn't add in that missing stage anyway. But yeah, it's a surprisingly complex game, because it is like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. You know, you go from left to right and you just beat the shit out of every, and like that's my favorite type of game to pick up and play with, especially with like a buddy, like the co-op of like two people. You know, well, you can't play co-op, you know, in this version unfortunately, but you can like watch your buddy go across the screen just like kicking the shit out of everyone. But it's actually more complicated. There are like different, you know, combos you can pick people up, you can throw them, you can, you know, knee them in the face when you pick them up, you can do different types of like dashes and kicks and jumping kicks, and you know, it's wild, the different move sets, especially like Mike Hagar. When I was playing as him, my favorite move is like he's so strong, only with that character you can pick someone up and move while holding on to them. You know how like in Smash Bros, like with DDD, he's like one of the few characters that you can pick someone up and like move off the stage while holding them. You know, Mike Hagar is the same way. He's the only character that can pick up an enemy and like move, and he can just jump and pile drive. And what my favorite thing to do with Mike is to do like multiple damage to multiple enemies. Like I'll pick up a guy and power bomb him into other guys, or like throw a guy into other guys and like knock them all down like bowling pins. Like it's so fun. There's also a special move you can do where like you hit both attack buttons at once, and it's like a super duper spin kick that like knocks out all the enemies on screen. But like it's one of those where, think about like an RPG where like you would use a MP to cast a spell. Well, you don't have MP, so it's the rule of like, think of like frickin' Pichu in Smash Brothers where he damages himself, or frickin' Wolverine where using the claws hurts you. Yeah, so you can do the special move where you know, hit both attack buttons and it drains your HP. So why the hell would you ever do that? It's a fun move to use, but like I use it very sparingly. I'll use it like once per stage, and like it's only like when I'm in a real pinch, because it's like, I need the HP, man. I'm dying already, and you're gonna bring me closer to death with that move, you know. But yeah, like this is a really rad game. Like it's one that I wish I grew up with. I'm close to a 10 already with Final Fight, but I have to drop it. I'm gonna drop it. Now that I know that there's a better version, especially like, again, it's for a Super Nintendo game, it's very, very solid. It looks really good. It runs really well. But compared to the arcade, it's just missing so many features. It's missing that character Guy. It's so ridiculous. You have to buy a different game just to get that third character. And then in the later sequels, they were able to put in 3 characters anyway. So I don't know why they couldn't do it for this one. I think it was like a rushed port, you know. But Final Fight in general, I would give a 10 out of 10. But I'm talking about the Super Nintendo port specifically. I'm going to knock it 2 points, and I'm going to bring it down to an 8 out of 10. Still a very, very good game that I highly recommend especially like if you like beat 'em up games. Like this is the one. This is the one to play on Super Nintendo. But I can't, knowing the features that are missing, knowing how much they kind of chopped it to make it run on Super Nintendo, and the Super Nintendo was capable of some pretty wild shit, man. If you put in the time and effort, you could get some amazing stuff to run on Super Nintendo. Again, this will be an upcoming video, but like, you know, don't tell me you couldn't get Final Fight to run in all of its glory on Super Nintendo, because you totally could. You just didn't want to put in the work. But yeah, that's enough on that. Again, 8 out of 10, very good game. Let me kind of, all right, let's switch gears here. I am hoping UN Squadron will work today. It's been finicky in the past, like I said. There it is. Oh, thank God. It's working. Listen to that sound. There we go. There we go. So I did some research on this as well. This is, again, I was talking about how, like, this is based on an anime and manga called Area 88. That's the original Japanese title. They changed it to UN Squadron. And again, this is in the age where Capcom and other companies, they were so worried about anime turning people off, ironically, from their games. So as you can see, the label, they changed it to make it look like a generic, like, Top Gun type of thing, where ironically, like, yeah, you can't see the glare, but like it's a really cool intro cutscene actually, with the planes taking off. But yeah, like, that's the ironic thing is, like, as a kid, I'd see this and I would not be interested. I'd be like, oh, okay, it looks like a generic, like, and Top Gun on NES was actually an infamously bad game, so that would have worked against it. If you had shown me the anime style, I would have been more likely to buy it as a kid. Oh yeah, I love the music. The music is so fire. But yeah, this is a side-scrolling shooter game. It's a really unique one where, so you have 3 different characters, kind of like Final Fight. From the outset, you choose from 3 different characters, right? And they all have their different strengths and weaknesses. Like, I like Shin Kazama because he's kind of like the fast one and also like the most well-rounded one. But then you have like ones that are like ones that are like, there you have like what's his name, George, I think. He's like sturdier, he can take more damage. Then you have the medium, like, difficulty guy who he can just like have more weapons at a time or something. But yeah, you, like, as soon as the game starts, you go to a shop and you have like money to spend, and you don't just choose your pilot, you choose your plane, and then you choose what weapons you want to use on your mission that you're going on. So there's a lot of strategy to it, and a lot of customization to your ship, your plane, excuse me. And again, I was just playing with it for an hour, but yeah, and it's a really fucking hard game too. That's my only little thing against it. And you can change the difficulty, but like, you know, I'm not playing it on easy mode, I'm no bitch. But like, I've only played it on normal mode. I dare not even try hard mode. But even on normal mode, I was getting my ass handed to me. Like seriously, I'm just like, I'm trying to beat the first level, man, and I can't do it. I'm just getting, because it's you do have a health bar, but seriously, you can crash into shit, or you can get shot. As soon as you get shot, your health like goes all the way down, man. And like, as long as you stay alive, I think your ship just sort of does repair itself over time. But like, it's almost like a bullet hell. Like, everything's coming at you, man. Everything's shooting at you, man. Like, you gotta be on your toes. And like, it's tough. Like, you have your normal, so you got Y fires the normal gun, X is to change your special weapons, and B is to fire that special weapon. So like, let's say I have like a cluster shot, so I hit B and it does like this circular, you know, attack that kills everything around me. and that's cool. But you only have 3 charges of that before the level's over. So you gotta you know, pace yourself. You gotta like really ration that out. And you know, if you choose bombs, you can spend your money on bombs, and you get 50 of those things. But they're so hard to use because you have to be directly over the opponent and you're dropping the bombs down. So like that, those are good for like the tanks that are on the bottom of the screen. But you gotta be like right on top and like really time that perfectly. And then like the first boss battle I got to, man, that thing was so fucking hard because it had different state. It was like a two-tier tank, and like it's kicking my ass. And so like I eventually beat it. I got to like the 2nd or 3rd level, but playing for an hour, I would say the majority of that hour was spent on just trying to beat that first fucking level. But it's interesting because every time you die, it is almost like a roguelike as well, because like you're meant to like play it, and when you play it you're at level 1. It's also kind of like an RPG. So you start out as level 1, and as you keep playing and dying, you do get money for each ship you kill, and your ship slowly levels up. You might be at level 2 or level 3. I had to be at like level 3 before I could really beat that boss and beat that level. And then the more money you have, oh, now I can buy the cluster shot, and I can buy the bombs, and I can buy like the super cannon. The super cannon is like a room clearing attack, but you only get 1 per stage, so you really have to save that for the boss or whatever, you know what I mean? But that was really cool. I like that. I love that aspect of the game a lot. I was just frustrated where I do think the game was too hard. Again, if it's a game where I turn it on and I'm having a shit ton of you know, and I was worse at video games as a kid. I probably would have like thrown the game away as a kid because like I can't even beat the first level. Fuck this game, you know. But if you're playing a game and like you can't even get past the first level without a huge amount of difficulty, it's like maybe this is like a little too much. I know there's like a lot more of game to go. It's just you know. And there are certain aspects of the game that I really love. I love like the anime aesthetics. Like it's basically anime Top Gun. I love like the idea of like, again, it's like a roguelike where you keep playing and you get more money. So you stock more money to spend on like better ships and better items and stuff. You know, that's really cool. And the controls, like even though the game's hard, like it's always, when you die, it's always your fault. Like the controls are not bad. There's a little bit of lag. The screen, you know, the screen does kind of slow. There's some slowdown when like there's a lot of ships and laser fire on screen at once. But that usually works in my advantage because when everything slows down, and then I'm like, oh, I can just weave in between the shots like this. So that's always worked in my favor. I'm not even going to take points away for the slowdown. But yeah, I think I would give this. I want to give this a solid 8 out of 10 as well. Again, there's a lot that I like about it. I do feel like the difficulty curve will turn a lot of people off, but this is one that I had never even heard of until I was researching, like, you know, top 50 Super Nintendo games and top 100 Super Nintendo games, stuff like that. And this is one that people don't really talk about, like a Capcom game that people don't really talk about a lot. And it's based on a pretty famous anime that I don't know if we got it over here or not. I'm gonna look up the anime as well. But it's a really, you know what, I still can't give it a 10 out of 10. I think I'm going to bump it up to a 9. I'm going to bump it up to a 9 out of 10. But it's still not perfect. There's still some things that I don't, but I am giving it a 9 for its uniqueness because there's so many like vertical shooters or horizontal scrolling shooters, so many scrolling shooters on these consoles. But this one really stands out with the shop system and everything, the customizability of your ship. Yeah, no, I do like this game a lot. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and that's enough on that for now. I don't know if I'll play more. Again, I think I'm closer to playing more of Final Fight than UN Squadron, even though I scored UN Squadron higher, ironically. But let's get to the main event. There's a game that I actually do prefer out of the 3. So, you want a legendary 10 out of 10 game, here it is. Here it is. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Man, it's like, I just feel like Spider-Man X-Men games, they hit different back in the day, where like, I mean obviously, now we're going through kind of a renaissance with like the Spider-Man PS4 and PS5 games, but like, there was a while where like superhero games just all uniformly sucked. But like back in the day, man, like certain arcade games and certain like console Capcom games, yeah, that's the aesthetic, the music, it's all based on like the rad 90s X-Men cartoon. I love it. And you basically feel like you're playing an episode of the show, which is really cool. So what's really unique about this game is, yeah, Charles says, "Hear me, my X-Men, we're investigating this this power plant or whatever on Genosha." So you have 5 characters to choose from, and what's really cool about this is it's not like, oh, like, you know, for example, with Final Fight or with UN Squadron, that's something they all have in common, is like all of these games feature multiple playable characters, right? But here's the difference. In Final Fight and UN Squadron, it doesn't matter what character you choose, you're playing the same stage, you're just choosing which character to play through the first stage with, you know what I'm saying? But in X-Men, there's 5 characters, and the reason that there are 5 playable characters, Charles explains in the opening cutscene, each character has something different to do. They're each attacking a different aspect of this, you know, military complex on Genosha. So like each character has their own unique level, and you have to beat each one. You can, you can do them in any order you want. So it is like Capcom's Mega Man series in that regard. But like you have to beat all of them in order to get to the final level. So that's really fucking cool. And the lineup is unique too. So like you have, you know, of course you have Cyclops, Wolverine, Beast is interesting, Gambit, and then my favorite inclusion is Psylocke, the Lady Psylocke. Man, she is so hot. She's the girl with like the psychic knives or whatever. Like she was played by Olivia Munn in the X-Men Apocalypse movie. I'm very shocked at her inclusion, actually. I'm really shocked that like they didn't have like, I mean, I guess Jean Grey wouldn't have made a lot of sense. It would have been hard to like design a level with her, but like, I mean, couldn't you have done Storm or maybe Rogue? Those would have made more sense. Psylocke is an odd inclusion, but I love it. I love her. Her level is really fun. She's really fun to play as. I didn't get a chance to play as everyone, but like everyone has like a different mission, different moveset. So like with Wolverine, for example, you have the claws, and the claws don't damage you, thank God. You can use the claws, and you can actually use the claws to wall climb, excuse me. So that's really cool. Cyclops has like the fucking optic blast, so he's the one that can shoot long range attacks at people. So that's really cool. My favorite to play as, it's a close call. I really like playing as Gambit. So Gambit, he always has like the bow staff, so he always already has like a bit of a reach on people, but you can also throw the exploding playing cards. And like I was saying with Final Fight, this is a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but it's a Capcom game, so they incorporate some of that Street Fighter combo bullshit. So like I had to look up the, you know, you can find the moves online, look up like the manual online, but you have to do like these complicated like Hadouken combo. Like, you know, you want to throw the, you know, if you just hit the attack button, Gambit's just gonna punch or kick or something. You know, you got to do the, you know, the circular like right down right attack, you know, that type of move where like then Gambit will throw the playing card, or like there's a complicated where he can throw cards above to attack enemies above him. He can crouch and throw playing cards. He can do like this triple playing card move that's like really fucking cool, but it's hard to pull off. Same thing with Psylocke. You play as Psylocke, you're mostly just gonna like punch and kick and stuff, but there's a way to do like a dash slide. There's a way to like do like this like awesome like psychic knife uppercut thing. There's this one move that she does, so that's, you do the Hadouken combo to use her psychic knife attack. But if you want to do this, she does like this flying knee kick that makes her jump even higher than normal, but it's like really hard. It's like, it's not like, you know, down middle, down diagonal right attack. It's like right down diagonal attack. It's like I can never do it on command. I've done it like twice, but it's a really cool kicking move. But you know, and then at least with Psylocke, I'll tell you one little cheat that I found that I love this little exploit. So she has a move called the neck breaker, where if you jump in the air and you hit down an attack, hit down attack at the same time, she'll kick the guy, but also kind of backflip off of him, and she'll maintain her air time. So what this means is, and it doesn't do like as much damage, but the reason you do it is sometimes there's items in the air that you can't normally jump to reach, but you can do her neck break attack, so like bounce off the dude and get the X in the, you know what I mean? Like that's a really cool move. And also, like, what I've done, I play a game, I turn into like a mini game where, like, if there's a screen full of enemies, you can keep doing the neck break as long as you do it to a different guy each time. You know what I'm saying? Where, like, let's say there's 2 guys here and there's 2 guys here, so I'll figure out, I'll get in between and I'll jump up and I'll neck break, neck break, neck break, neck break, you know what I mean? And then more people come into the room. I swear to you, I've juggled Psylocke in the air for like a full minute just doing that until basically you can keep doing it until you clear the room of enemies. As long as you don't touch the ground, you can keep like the little combo going, and like, it's so fun. Psylocke is such a fun character to play as, and also, you know, you got like the 90s costume, like the big boot, and Capcom, I mean, they created Chun-Li and Cammy. They created Cammy, so like, they're all about the booty. No, you get to see Psylocke's, you know, big booty when she does the neck. That's the other reason I like to do the neck break and like the leg sweep. Like, man, she's got a great booty. Anyway, yeah, I love playing a Psylocke. She's probably, yeah, no, I mean, just talking about it, I love playing as Gambit, but I think Psylocke is my favorite character to play as, specifically just because of the one. It's like a fun challenge to try and get that. I always use the uppercut instead because it's a similar button combo, but I want to do her flying knee kick, you know, knee strike attack. That's always hard to pull off. And I love doing the neck break where I just like juggle Psylocke in the air and, you know, keep her in the air as long as humanly possible. That's like my own little mini game I play. It's completely superfluous, but like, it's fun. You know, like, that's how you know when a game is really fucking good, when you can like create little pockets of fun within the game to do with stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like, again, I grew up playing Spider-Man Venom Separation Anxiety. I love that game. I also grew up with this piece of shit, this Arcade's Revenge. This is like a 1 out of 10. Forget this game. But I used to use Separation Anxiety. I never played, for the record, I never played Maximum Carnage. I need to play that game for this series for sure. But I always held up like Separation Anxiety as like a gold standard for like a licensed game. But this puts that to shame, man. And again, and same with like the Power Rangers beat 'em up. I love that game. Like, that was like a shining example of like a licensed game. But like, no. Like, I'm sorry. Like, my new gold standard is right here. It's X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. This is one of the best licensed games I've ever played. Like, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a legendary beat 'em up. So yeah, out of all of these, I might try and beat Final Fight. I'm definitely gonna try and beat X-Men Mutant. I'm definitely gonna play this more. I'm gonna try and beat X-Men Mutant Apocalypse because I want to see everything. I want to see how Cyclops' stage is different. I want to see how Beast's stage is different. I'm sure Beast's stage makes you do some more acrobatic tricks or whatever. But again, I have my favorites. I just like replaying Gambit's stage. Because I like throwing exploding cards at people. I like replaying Psylocke's stage because I like doing the juggle maneuver. And I like doing the energy sword attack. But that's the sign of a great game, right? Where it's like you just want to play more of it, even if it's a level you've already beaten before, you just want to play it some more because you just fucking love the gameplay. And yeah, I do. So boom, there you go. This was disqualified for being too good. So the run-up would go 10 out of 10. Here it is. If you can only play one, I recommend X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Again, this was about 10. UN Squadron was also cheap. It was like $10. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, it's a little rarer. You might fetch a pretty penny. You might have to pay like $30 or so. It's worth it. It's worth it to have this in your collection, I swear to you. Please get this game. It's worth the $30. This is number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna put, yeah. I guess number 2 I would put UN Squadron, and then number 3 I'd put Final Fight. But you can't go wrong. I recommend any of these. Play any of these. This one might frustrate you a little bit, but hey, maybe you're better at games than I am. maybe you'll get past the first level without, you know, spending an hour pulling your hair out. Like, who knows? But yeah, that's it for now. I'll try and have some more Super Nintendo content coming soon.